I'm like,
I'm done.
it's really up to y'all.
Yeah.
My bag. My husband was like, where you going? I said, I'm going to Pittsburgh. He said, tonight? I said, yeah.
Yeah.
Kids, it was just me and my mom. So I was like catering to her every need.
Yeah.
Every day we would go to the hospital. The hospital's an hour away.
Mm.
Every morning we'd get up and go to the hospital and we would talk each other. You know how I talk a lot. My mom was the same way. And we would talk and laugh and we'd go to breakfast first and then we'd go straight to the hospital. We had a good old time. Then we'd talk each other's ears off at the hospital. But Wednesday, I looked at my dad and felt like he wasn't coming home. And I said, well, I'm not saying anything to my mom about it. We get in the car, we rode halfway home in silence. Finally, my mom looked at me and said, I don't think Bobby's coming home. And I said, yeah, I think so too. And my mom said, if he dies, I don't want to live.
Mm.
I was so mad at her. I'm like, well, what about us?
Yeah.
You know? We're here too.
Yeah.
But I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything. I said, I'm going to talk to her about that. I'm going to get her told about that, but not right now.
Yeah.
So the next day, or it might have been 2 days later, the doctor said, this is it. You know, either pull the plug or, you know, well, he didn't say it in front of us.
Yeah.
My mom came in the room, my brother and I were in the family waiting room, and she came in and she said, you know, I hope you understand this. And me and Bobby had this conversation. And she said, the doctor said this is it, you know, he's not going to come out of this. And your dad already told me that he doesn't want to live on life support. So she said, I hope you understand. We're about to pull the plug. If you don't understand, sorry. And so they pulled the plug, and he was dead in an hour. And she said, oh, and by the way, if it ever gets to this for me, I want the same thing. So he passed away. He lived maybe an hour. And 1 year later, the same thing happened to my mother. She had an aneurysm. I was out driving around. I remember my brother called me, and
thank you.
I just fell apart in the car.
No, we'll be out of here in about 5-10 minutes. Thank you. I think so.
We're done.
It was very good. Thank you.
So, you know, I came home. Same thing after a couple. No, it wasn't even a couple days. As soon as I got there, I think my mom was holding on for me. As soon as I got there, they said, "This is it." You know, this is going to be her life. You know, she can live for an unlimited, who knows how long, on life support, but this is it. And so he said, "You have a decision to make." And my brother and I are like, "We actually don't." My mom already told us
that she didn't want it.
She already told us. Thank God she did, because it would have been a dilemma.
Right, deciding.
All y'all should have medical directors. If you don't, you should get it. And tell your kids what you want and what you don't want. Everybody know my family, I don't want it. My wife and I already did that. And we did it in our will, but we did a medical director. Do it. That way you take a big weight off of your family.
And
you do it that way.
Blessing too. Yeah, that was a blessing. It was no decision. It was made. We pulled the plug, no guilt. We told our sisters and brothers, just like my mom told us. We hope you understand, but this is what our mom said, and you don't really get a vote. She already voted. We don't get a vote.
Right now.
But the blessing was, she had just planned my father's funeral. So everything we did for my father, like there was a casket she liked, you know, everything she liked, we gave that to her too. And this is God. So my mom had a funeral plot next to her mother and her dad. One in Washington, PA. But when my dad died, we buried him here in Beaver Falls with his parents. And so we had been talking, and she was like having this dilemma whether she should be buried by her husband or by her parents. allusions made to it,
Yeah.
right? But when we buried my dad, the people at the cemetery said, you know, this one plot beside your dad is the last one left in this section,
Yeah.
and you better get it
Yeah.
because it may not be available.
Yeah.
And they said we'll hold it for you free for like 60 days or something like
Yeah.
that. We'll hold it for you free for 60 days. But if you don't take it within 60 days, we have to put it back on the market.
Correct.
So 1 year later, my mom passes away.
Yeah.
We know that plot's no longer available, right? So when we called them and told them that my mother passed away, she said, you know, somebody forgot to put that plot back in the market.
Oh, praise God. That's all right.
Wow.
Oh
So you
man,
got it
this thing
right
was
by
supposed
the
to be
husband.
put back on the market 9 months ago,
Wow.
but it's still off the market. We're not allowed to hold it more than 60
Look
days, but they
out.
forgot to. You know, that's
Look
God.
out.
So when we heard that, we were
It
like,
had to be. Had to
this
be.
is where God wanted her to be, next to her husband, not in Washington with her
Right.
parents.
That's wonderful.
So that's where we buried her.
That happens so often, man. Folks want to go home. The husband died, the wife died. They want to go with them.
I was so mad at my
know you
mom.
were.
She knew she was going. That last year she came, she landscaped my house. She was bossing this. So we had this guy who used to cut our grass, this black man who had been to prison. I couldn't stand him. He was
Yeah.
so nasty.
Yeah.
And I kept trying to fire him, and my husband was like, well, if we don't give him a chance, who's going to?
Yeah.
You know, like white folks not gonna let him. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't care. He's
Yeah.
nasty. I can't stand him.
Yeah.
You deal with him. No, we're not firing him. You just stay away from him. I'll deal with him.
Yeah.
And he did. This man, when my mother came, he was he was
Nice,
a
eh?
different man. He was bringing free stuff. He was bringing my grandkids bikes.
Nice.
I'm like, who are you?
Yeah.
And then he brought, like, she told him she installed a pond in front of my house.
Yeah.
She told him she wanted mulch. He comes with a truckload of mulch. And she's bossing him around. Put it there, do this, da, da, da. And he's just like,
Like, who is this
who
man?
is this man? You know, is he trying to horn in on my mom or what? You know? And then, you know, it's time for him to, you know, when he got all done with everything, I'm like, how much do I owe you? Oh, nothing. I'm like,
No.
But see, she gonna be leaving.
Yeah. You gonna be mean to me again. You go, what's the money afterwards?
I'm gonna pay you something, because when she leaves, the real you is coming
Yeah.
back. You know? But she just had that effect on people. People love her.
Awesome.
But she knew she was
Yeah.
gonna. And matter of fact, my kids used to spend summers with her. And the summer before she passed away, the kids went and they stayed with my daughter this time instead. Because she had a friend who was dying of cancer, so she wasn't able to take the kids, but she spent the time on the bedside with Joyce. But then she got the boys for a week, and then we went and got the kids. And she called me. She was so mad at me. Why didn't you? I needed to get the girls. I didn't get to get the girls. I was going to get the girls the following week. I said, well, Mom, you can get the girls next year.
Yeah.
Get them first next year.
Yeah.
She said, I'm going to be dead by next year.
Oh my goodness. She
was.
knew.
She was.
She knew. She
I'm
knew.
like, Mom, quit talking like that.
She knew.
Yeah, she knew. So, you guys have to work tomorrow.
Right.
Right. Awesome.
This is
has been
great.
wonderful.
I've been wanting to do this for a long time.
Yes.